I've achieved more than I would ever have dreamed of, to be really honest. I strongly believe women are an essential factor for our economy. Europe lacks in investment, lacks in innovation, has an unnecessary bureaucracy, and this is what companies also need to do to build up a resilience.
A warm welcome on behalf of Raiffeisen Bank International. I'm very happy to welcome you to our 6th episode of Banking on Success. I'm here today, again, as always, with Eliza Kavrakova.
Warm welcome from my side as well.
Great to have you here again with me. And a special guest. I think I'm always quite excited when we have guests with us, as you know. This time I'm a little bit more excited because there are a few reasons why this is the case. First of all, the person we have invited, you will get to know in a second, sits on a lot of supervisory boards in companies and therefore sees diverse industries in a volatile time. Second, she also is running a podcast. You will hear that in a second. It's not the main job, as she told me before, but definitely it's a goal of us to also reach 21 episodes even, and not only 6. And the third one, I'm very happy that we found a date with each other, because you can imagine, due to the job she has, there's a lot of things she has to do. And thank you very much for coming in. Very warm welcome, Marianne Heiß. I'm happy to have you here.
Thank you. I'm glad as well.
To start with, I already had the one or the other topic you're doing, but still let me a little bit run through your career, what you have done. There are a lot of things, so I even need to read that out, not to forget anything. Yeah? Probably to start with, you have started your career at BBDO, which is the marketing and creativity agency, if I would call it like this. You then also have had an important role there as a CEO in Germany, as well as CFO worldwide. Meanwhile, you're sitting on several supervisory boards, as I just mentioned a second ago. To start with, Volkswagen Group, Volkswagen, Audi, Porsche, I would call it as a group. Paysafe as well. Recently, I've joined Palfinger here in Austria. Very excited to also hear what you experienced there, as well as Ritter Sport, which I think everybody knows, who not only has kids but also likes chocolate. As I mentioned before, you already have a very prominent podcast that we are listening to and very curious, as well as you wrote a book on diversity. Yes, she can. I think a topic that we will also like to address here today. To start with the easier part, how did you come here? First of all, to Vienna, was it the bus? Was it the train? Was it the airplane most probably? And or are you living in Vienna currently?
Actually, I walked here to the office, to the 3rd district, because I'm living in the 4th district. And going to the airport directly after our conversation. After 20 moves in 30 years, we proactively decided where do we want to live. And Vienna has been counted as one of the most livable cities in the world for decades, actually, and it was the right decision for us. So I'm traveling during the week. I'm spending my weekends in Vienna and in Italy in the summer months because I'm married with an Italian.
So then let me jump with the next and maybe a bit more serious question, but it's connected actually to transitioning, because while you transition or travel, so I connect both of this. So you have an outstanding career path. I was really amazed because I meet you first time and really very glad. And you've been, instead of staying in the vertical career, this is what I did, for example, you've been transforming across the industries. So from BBDO into the automotive industry. So what motivated you to make these steps?
After 27 years within BBDO in different roles and different countries, I was Chief Financial Officer for European countries, 18 European countries, not Chief CFO for the world. You mentioned that in the introduction. So I was CFO, and most recently I was CEO. And in 2022, we achieved the best results in agency history on many levels. And for me, it was the right decision to embark a new life path, actually, with all the supervisory board roles. I've been on the board already at Volkswagen, Porsche and Audi for 7 years, when I was already CFO within BBDO Group Germany and became CEO. I always have sized opportunities in life, and I will continue to do so. The last 24 months, I was busy with my supervisory board roles at Volkswagen, Audi, Porsche, at Palfinger, most recently Ritter Sport chocolate, and Paysafe, which is an American-British company in the digital payment platform economy.
Which is known to us. Yeah.
I mean, the superpower or talent that you might have, then I think we also as a bank, we are set up in industries, and every industry is super different. So I have dedicated special people who are really then going into that industry, understanding the dynamics and trying to understand also our customers. Now you have a variety of industries. How do you manage to get into those industries to really understand the details there, the dynamics that are happening in order to fulfill your role?
Actually, 27 years within Omnicom, a global company, an American public company within BBDO is integrated. You learn a lot about different industries, because it's the finance and banking sector, it's the FMCG sector, it's the automotive sector. Omnicom and BBDO has been working for all the clients globally. So when I moved on the company side, before I started at tax consulting and auditing, then I moved to company side, it was clear I want to work for an American public company. And it was also clear I want to work for a company which serves in different industries. And I'm glad I made the decision. So you have to live your life forward and can only understand backwards. So maybe it was the right decision at the right time. But to be honest, when we talk about the challenges we have now in our economy, we will hear that every industry is now in a situation of change, of transformation, and of big challenges. So I believe in the power of collaboration between industries, collaboration between countries, and this actually I've been forcing for ages now.
Okay.
You're a bit already you took a bit ahead of my next question, which and I wanted to give us a bit on the more macro level, because we have since recently a new government in Austria. We have now the new government in Germany under the leadership of Merz. We have, since Trump entered into the administration, a foreign policy and foreign economic policy which keeps the world busy, let's put me this way. Now, how do you perceive the current economic momentum in Europe? And above all, or maybe to get more concrete, what does it need to re-energize the growth in Europe from the European industry perspective?
Mm-hmm. So first of all, I see great opportunities in Europe, but I also see major challenges, that's for sure. So Europe plays an important role in the global economy. It's one of the largest markets, but the share of the global GDP is declining due to a new world order and due to new economic powers such as China. So we have to deal with high energy prices. We have to deal with bureaucracy, and regulations which no other economy has. And I give you one example. When we had to deal with the Reduction Inflation Act in 2022, the Americans act very quickly with bringing investment in the country. And Europe lacks in investment, lacks in innovation, has an unnecessary bureaucracy. And I see the challenges we have to face in Europe, and we can only overcome these challenges by collaborating together through companies, politics, society, and throughout the countries, and by reducing bureaucracy and creating, finally, after having discussed for ages, capital market union. So this could be a solution. How can we make Europe attractive for investments as well as for talents? And I think we need to focus on education. We need to focus on innovation, and the flood of regulations, it's not a driver for the economy. It's rather a brake for it. So that's my solution. Capital market union is key. Focus on investments, innovation, and reduce the enormous bureaucracy.
And de facto increase the entrepreneurship.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think on regulation as a bank, we are in the middle of it, in the middle of the storm. I mean, is there anything, as you surf in so many different companies, you see different strategies there, is there any organizational pattern you see that all of them use in order to deal with these challenges? Is there anything, a recipe kind of where you say, this is similar, or is it always a different approach of the different organizations you're in?
Actually, market changes as we are in now all over the world, not just in Europe. Every market has its challenges, also present great opportunities. Great opportunities for innovation and for product development, and strong brands like Volkswagen, Audi, Palfinger, Ritter Sport. There is an opportunity. There is an opportunity to expand brands and global markets. So I think focusing on a strategy, how can we build up innovative products, customer-centric in new markets? It's actually what every company needs to do.
True.
I would like to switch gears a bit, if you allow me, Daniel, to a topic which is close to my heart, and the audience will understand why. Yes, She Can, you highlight the importance of a diverse leadership in order that a company is in a long-term way successful. Now, many would claim, well, we've progressed on the topic a lot. I personally believe we still have a way ahead and a way to go. What, in your view, still needs to be done so that gender equality becomes a lived corporate practice?
Yeah, what we have seen since I launched my second book, Yes, She Can, The Future of Management is Female, a positive development in all European countries. But there is room for improvement, I have to admit as well. So responsibility not just lies in the companies, it also lies in the politicians who should ensure that we have enough care places for children. And I would also encourage the women to continue developing their career during the time when they build up a family, actually, because I strongly believe women are an essential factor for our economy and for our prosperity of our society. So we really, in these days, with all the global changes and all the increasing demands, we need a diverse board in every company and in every country with different perspectives to make the right decisions where we are going to develop as a company. So we need the women, and I encourage every woman to continue on the career where building up a family as well. So it's a combination about culture in the companies. Leave your comfort zone if you are a mother and working on your professional career, and the politicians need to take care about childcare and everything else.
Yeah, cannot agree more. Thank you for resonating on that.
And let me add on with trying again to find a pattern in your different roles. I mean, we had now diversity, which is, I think, important to all companies. We had the topic of growth and the customers and developing. What also is important to us as a bank, but general to our customers, is innovation these days. You know, it's an increasing pace, I would even call it, on AI and other topics that are hitting us even at the moment. Is there anything where you say an organization, your organizations, how do they deal with innovation? How do they embed it in their daily business, in their organizations, in their life, in their development?
Mm-hmm. My personal experience with all the different board roles, but also as when I worked as CEO and CFO, and all the conversations I have all around the globe is very, very clear, actually. First of all, I love the quote from Peter F. Drucker, the American Austrian professor of management. He said, culture eats strategy for breakfast. So you can have the best strategy for innovation, for product development, if you haven't shaped an innovative culture. And companies, people, employees are exhausted from transformation processes. So we need to understand the world we're living in is changing. So transformation and change is not a project anymore. It's the water we swim in. So we need to develop a culture which allows innovation, which is agile enough to allow a rapid change. So I see the requirements beside a very innovative strategy also on how can we build a culture where people are not exhausted from one innovation and change program and transformation program after the other, but more being agile and developing an innovative culture.
And I'll jump now here because I fully agree with you that there is no like stability, but it's a permanent change. So the permanent change got kind of the new normal. And for that, because this creates also stress. So the leadership becomes even more important when we're in a permanent change. So what is your approach to taking decisions in general, particularly to taking decisions as well under pressure? What are the main lessons you took maybe from critical situations in the past or even crisis situations you experienced, which are still valid for you today?
Mm-hmm. Actually, I've experienced several crises in my career. One of the first was the Enron accounting scandal in 2001. This brought us Sarbanes-Oxley as an American public company, also in the European environment. We have been dealing with Sarbanes-Oxley since then. Then we had the Euro and finance crisis, where I was chief financial officer for 18 European countries, and including countries like Greece, Spain, Italy. So the countries which were really suffering from the Euro and finance crisis.
I well remember the time, yeah.
I personally see my personal strengths in a great resilience, and my ability to see the risks, but more seeing opportunities and building on them. And this is what companies also need to do to build up a resilience, because after the Euro and finance crisis, 2008 and 9, the economy was growing until the pandemic from 2010 to 2020 enormously. And now, since 2020 and the pandemic, with a crisis modus, year by year, pandemic, war in Ukraine, tariffs with the Americans right now. There are so many challenges, and transforming an organization, the culture, and building up a strategy which builds up resilience within the company is one of the key success matters in my personal perspective.
Mm-hmm. And I will build the last question for the moment.
Go ahead. No.
Building up on that, but in a bit different direction in terms of transformation. I perceived while preparing for our talk that sustainability is something which is also part of your professional journey. Now, in your current roles, how do you ensure that the topic of ESG is really core part of the company's strategy rather than an add-on, which sometimes as well perceive in other companies that it's just the add-on what we do? So how do you make it integral core part of the strategy?
So first of all, public companies must report on ESG topics. And in addition to the regulatory requirements, they should take into consideration all the expectation from all the stakeholders, from investors, from analysts, from employees, from customers. So this is key. They should put all the ESG efforts in the strategy and in the culture of the company. And no company can afford anymore not to focus on ESG in the strategy and in the culture. It's one of the key matters for the future, how you can differentiate from your competitors. So I think it's very obvious that even not public company will spend enormous effort, time, and money in building up an ESG strategy and culture.
This leads me to a topic, and I must admit I forgot when I introduced you here today. You recently took over the role of honorary representative of UNICEF here in Austria. What motivated you to do so, and also how important is the topic to you?
It's really an important one. I believe in the Boy Scout motto, and I've been delivering on that since I wouldn't say since my childhood, but teenage time. Do a good deed every single day. And it should be a call for action, actually, for everybody to take on responsibility. We are not just responsible that our share value increases, our EBIT ratio increases year by year. In these difficult socio-political times, it is important that we take action and that we make a difference as a person and as a company. So I could just invite everybody do a good deed every day.
Speaking of youth, what would you advise to young professionals, women, men who are just about to start and accelerate the professional career, respectively? Turning back to your beginnings, what would be the advice which you wanted to hear back then?
First of all, I strongly believe that every person is a bundle of special abilities, of special talents, of special skills and experiences. So you have your individual USP when you are born. And living your purpose in life and believe on yourself by achieving this purpose and your goals, and face up all the challenges, move out from the comfort zone. So for me, life in a standby mode was never my goal. I grew up in the countryside here of Vienna, in a very small village. There was really not much financial resources there in the family. But it was my responsibility to follow my purpose in life and to build up something what I want to achieve. And living in a standby mode was never my goal. I was very ambitious. But nevertheless, hard work and good performance is not enough. You really take into consideration that is it worth it? You really have to give up on something. For me, it was worth it. And I couldn't agree more to do exactly the same path. Nevertheless, looking more on self-care could help to balance in life. I could have been better in my self-care, in the way of I took care of myself, not just in my business environment and my personal environment. I always take care of the others, and then it's me. So like Queen Elizabeth said, duties first, self second, but you only have 24 hours. There is no time for self second within a day or a week. So self-care is very important.
May I
Absolutely
jump
ahead,
in,
yeah.
because this is also something that I'm always interested with our guests. You said there is no self-care or little time, but sometimes or you need to recover somehow, I guess, or you're jumping from one location to the other. Is there anything where you really say, okay, this is a moment that I can take where I relax myself or get prepared or you for yourself?
It's crazy now, because this sounds now another very ambitious approach, as daily sport is what keeps me sane and means 365 days a year.
Wow.
There is no days off. No day. I can't think of a day in the last 5 years, even when I didn't feel very strong, even when I just slept 3 hours, even when I went on a plane at 5:30 in the morning. I always find this at least 30 minutes, normally an hour in the morning, where I do my workout. Number one, I still read a lot. I love reading. And I spend the time here in Vienna in the museum or in the opera house, and with my Italian husband who cooks very well. And we spend time in Italy. So I have my moments. And even if it's just a good espresso in the morning,
it's important to value the moment.
But I need to learn this was not happening the first 10, 15 years of my career. And with the European role, I learned take care of yourself and be kind to yourself as you do for others.
I so much can resonate on that, and thank you for sharing. I think it's very important, particularly for people who just enter into the career and come into even more stressy mode. So it was a very important remark. Do you still have any wishes for you for the future?
More for the world than for myself. I've achieved more than I would ever have dreamed of, to be really honest. And I certainly wish peace for the world and more community spirit and more collaboration between economy, between politics, between society. And by community spirit, I mean a sense of responsibility, a sense of respect, a sense of tolerance. I miss that, and a commitment on a common goal. And we are all in the same boat. And sometimes we forget that. That would be my wish for the future.
Thank you.
And last one, probably because it fits to wishes as well, your podcast Voices that you are hosting. You have very prominent guests, diverse industries, most of them time CEOs. Any guest, if you can wish, would you like to invite there, be it living or dead or whatever? Would there somebody that you would have liked to talk or would like to talk to?
Two, actually, and both unfortunately passed away. Queen Elizabeth II, which I quoted already, duties first, self second, because I admired her for her values and for her discipline. And the other one is Steve Jobs for all the innovative abilities. From Steve Jobs is the quote, "People don't know what they want until you show it to them." Our task is to read things that are not yet on the page. And this is something what I would wish for the situation we are in right now. How can we build up in Europe an innovative environment like the thinking of Steve Jobs?
Very good choices, I must admit. I haven't made my mind up. I think we will make up our mind what ours would be. But Steve Jobs is very interesting.
Famous last words.
Famous last words. Many thanks. It was super inspiring. We see the energy in yourself and the ambitions you have in your businesses. Thank you very much that you cut out a little bit of time of your great schedule. Thanks for having us here with us. And
for me, it was a big pleasure, also personally, as a female, to listen. It's very inspiring. So thank you for that.
Thank you. It was a wonderful conversation, fantastic preparation of everything. And thanks for having me.
A lot of success to you.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you very much for tuning into our podcast. You saw now the 6th episode of Banking on Success. We are looking forward on our next guest and hopefully have a same and interesting and inspiring conversation by then. Have a good day and tune into our next podcast.
Goodbye.
Raiffeisen Bank International. Make it happen.